Hi everyone, Brian Krall here in the mountains of North Bali, and I have hiked up 1,000 steps to get to the top of this mountain to bring you a very important video on having a life philosophy to live by. Many people do not have any sort of value system or beliefs or any sort of life philosophy that they live by because they're not intellectual people, right? And while it's fine to not be an intellectual person, the problem is that when you do not have some sort of life philosophy that you live by, your life is not purposeful. The way that you are living your life is not purposeful. And thus, it is not as fulfilling or meaningful, right? So you do not get as much out of life. So even if you're not a spiritual person like me, or an intellectual or philosophical person like me, it's very important to have some sort of life philosophy that you live by. I mean, that just makes sense, right? Because when you have a life philosophy that you live by, your life becomes more meaningful, more purposeful, and thus more fulfilling, okay? And it's interesting to think that if you, as a person who is intelligent, who has integrity enough to be engaged in personal development work and possibly seeking for spiritual answers to life's questions, if you are viewing this on my spiritual channel, do not have a life philosophy, well, compare yourself to some of the other types of people who do have life philosophies. Like even gang members have credos that they live by. Think about that for a minute. I mean, just let that set in for a moment. A person who is a gang member, even they have a life philosophy that they live and function by. And why so many people, even people like gang members, choose to have life philosophies to live by is because it makes your life not only more meaningful and more purposeful, but easier to live, because you always know what you are about, right? You always know how you are supposed to be functioning in your living and in your lifestyle and the things that you do, right? So it's kind of like a foundation to fall back upon whenever you don't know what to do, whenever you're in some sort of perplexing situation, right? Or when things get complicated, right? You always know that you have this life philosophy that you live by and that you can rely upon to be your fundamental truth, to be the system of ethics that you live by, okay? And this could be something elaborate and philosophical and even very spiritual, or it could be something simple, just like a simple credo or a simple value system, okay? And that's where it really needs to start if you don't have any sort of life philosophy whatsoever. You need to start by asking yourself, what are my values? What do I think is most important in life? What am I most passionate about, right? And if these are questions that are difficult for you, think about what things in your life have always made it feel the most meaningful, worthwhile, special, stimulating, exciting, and such, okay? What have you always gotten the most out of in life? For a lot of people, it's something like music or film or dance, right? For some people, it's their goals and their professional development, okay? For people like me, it's their spirituality.
Are you an intellectual or a philosophy nerd like me? Do you enjoy contemplating things such as the meaning of life and what is beyond the ostensible reality that we appear to be in? And what are the mysteries of the universe? Do you like to read because you're smart and don't want to become a dumb illiterate, like all the retarded NPCs out there? Well then, I have the perfect book for you. The Bible of Esoteric Knowledge is a super concise, dense, info-packed philosophy textbook, written in the same verse format as the Bible, but combining multiple different, highly esoteric philosophies such as Taoism, Hinduism, Buddhism, shamanism, ancient paganism, and a special balance between theoretical physics and metaphysics, along with some special bonus info on the cryptic secrets of sexuality and death. This book will stimulate your intellectual philosopher's mind like no other, especially since it's a lot shorter and easier to read than most philosophy books made up entirely of run-on sentences and never-ending paragraphs, and, can be quite boring and exhaustive. Full of all the most fascinating mystical secrets of the universe, gratify your inner geek and quench your thirst for meaning with the Bible of Esoteric Knowledge. Get your copy at the link below for a special sale price today.
For some people, it's sexuality or love. For other people, it's food. For a lot of people, it could just be food. You could just be all about food, right? But think about what you value most in life. What are the things that you are most passionate about? And there doesn't have to be just one, right? There will oftentimes be one main one thing that's at the top, that's your primary thing that you value in life, right? But then you can have other values as well, okay? You don't have to just have one, and you shouldn't. You should have more than one thing you value in life. But it's best to have one thing that is definitely your top priority, that you value the most, because that just makes it easiest to know which thing is always going to be your central focus. Understand? That just makes sense, right? And then what you need to do is think about how you're going to be all about this thing. Like, how are you going to structure and systematize your life around this thing and develop some sort of code of ethics around it, and or some sort of philosophy or belief system that goes along with this, and some sort of way of life. Like, a lot of people who are into food, they will focus on certain cuisines. They will not eat certain types of foods that they think are unhealthy or do not have integrity or whatever it is. They're going to focus on these types of cuisines that they like the best. And what are they doing it for the purpose of? Are they doing it for the purpose of enriching their life, opening their palate as an art form, for impressing lovers or providing for their family, or maybe opening a restaurant? There's so many ways that you can form a whole system of lifestyle around just food. And that's just a very, very basic example. But the same goes for people who really love music or dance or some other art form. They will oftentimes develop an entire philosophy surrounding that art form about how they are doing it. And of course, for what purpose? And that's a big thing you need to think about in your life philosophy, is what is the purpose in this, right? And a purpose is not a goal, it involves a goal, right? A purpose is more like a mission statement. So what you're really going to be doing in establishing a life philosophy is establishing a mission statement. Just like a business, when it starts, will have a certain philosophy that they will write out in their business plan, and that will involve a mission statement and other things. You want to do this for your life as well, okay? And it doesn't have to be written, but you need to think about it in a way that is solid and concrete enough that you can recite it to anyone who asks you things about yourself that turn into this type of deeper conversation. So your mission statement is very important in life, because that is what you are living for, okay? That is what purpose you are trying to fulfill in your life, okay? And your mission statement is not going to be a set mission statement either. It's going to be what is called a live document. This means that it is going to be ever-changing, growing, and evolving over time, okay? So you don't have to worry about getting everything about your life philosophy and your mission statement right now and finalized right now. In fact, it shouldn't ever be complete and final, all right? It should constantly be being edited and revised. As you grow as a person, your life philosophy is going to grow as well. And you'll find that as you formulate your value system, your belief system, and your mission statement, in your life philosophy really grows and comes to fruition, that you become a fuller, deeper, more well-rounded person, someone who's more intellectual, lives more intelligently, becomes more self-actualized, and lives much, much more meaningfully, and thus you are able to function better as a person as well, and your life becomes easier in many ways where it would otherwise be complicated and confusing. Okay? And you'll also find that as you live according to your life philosophy and your life purpose that goes along with your life philosophy and fulfill your mission in this life purpose, that you become much, much more fulfilled and get much more out of life. And don't end up like one of the many people out there who is on their deathbed regretting not doing much with their lives and wondering why they didn't live better and more purposefully. Okay, so I hope that has been of help to you, and if you enjoyed this, be sure to check out all of the other great videos that I have.
That concludes this video. Thanks for listening. I hope I mansplained that good enough for you. If you like what you heard, please click the like button, and if you feel you gained some value from this video and would like to give some back, please do so with the PayPal link below, because your support helps fund me doing this work and fight the good fight for men like you. If you are ready to take the red pill and wake up from the matrix and the matriarchy controlling it and learn everything you need to know about female on male sexism, get your copy of my newly released book called Misandry Exposed, on sale now for a special price that won't last long. So check it out by clicking the link below. And otherwise, you can stay tuned for my next video coming out tomorrow. And otherwise, take care of yourselves, men, because no woman out there is going to.